how it mixes it up and who goes on red and blue. It looks like DWG Gaming have chosen red here for game number 2.
Hopefully that means we're going to see some counter picks from Nuguri and Showmaker rather than the nuclear focus comp that we got in game number 1. Aurelia already banned off the board. There were a lot of bans thrown at Showmaker, you'll remember, in game number 1. Following here, already blind Yasuo bans. Not too many mid laners in the LCK will draw these first round Yasuo bans. Yukal, of course, one that gets them very frequently.
It's interesting, too, because I look at the stats for Showmaker. He has not played a single game of Yasuo. I guess that's how feared it is. Maybe it just got banned out every single time. It's definitely possible.
And it's one of those picks that is shown on the ladder many times, and these players know Showmaker and Nuguri in particular very, very well. If the final ban is also mid lane focused. Waiting here to see what bbq on. Yeah, they're not interested in playing against Showmaker's Akali either. Zoe most played in Challenger 8 and 0 is...
Jesus.
Wow. Well,
whipping the chicken. That's not what you want to see.
There's many ways to prepare a chicken. I don't know if whipping's one of them, but the Varus going to be banned away against bbq. And just a blind Syndra first pick. Okay.
You know, Tempt was pretty good on the pick. He seems pretty frustrated as well. I think that's him saying, get me that pick again, I'll carry this time.
I'm just not so sure about it when you don't necessarily have the lanes around it or the guarantees they did when they picked it as final pick on the red side. There's picks that work into Syndra, and especially if you have the tools around them, you can take a riskier mid laner. Seems like DWG are going to open up with the Kai'Sa anyway. Remember, 12-1 now since the start of Challenger's Korea Summer for Nuclear, and here we go. This would be the start of something to start punishing the pick from Tempt.
We saw these guys doing a lot of troll hovers before. The fact that he hasn't locked it in kind of makes me feel like it's not going to happen. Definitely could happen later. I mean, you mentioned the Katarina. You definitely could see a Fizz into a Syndra. I feel like it's just they're playing with the heart of Tempt right now.
Now, in some ways they are. Remember, Fizz was actually nerfed post 8.15. We had full power Fizz. No one picked it. And now we're getting the nerfed Fizz from there. But Alistar's also a champion Syndra doesn't like very much. So at the end of the day, it is a pick that does decrease the efficiency of Syndra in the game. Might just be a rollback on Zaya Rakan and some more hunting missions for Ignar when it comes to the flanks.
That is going to be the case. I don't think that was really the problem here for bbq. Ignar himself was certainly trying to make things happen over and over again. I feel like just as a team, they all got to be on the same page and actually make it happen.
Do you take a jungler here and start banning away jungle picks, or do you take the mid lane and not take any more bans? The question. The LeBlanc was banned last time. All right, maybe we'll get that show. That was never really turned on by the mid laner of DAMWON in game number 1. This can be a really fun matchup. It can also swing one way or the other, but LeBlanc has been a very frequent ban in recent best of 5s especially, so cool to see it from Showmaker in this game number 2.
Can only ban so much from the first time around, and yeah, I like the idea. They didn't want to have it banned out in phase 2 once again, so they just go for it right away. Now we should have a lot of jungle bans come out here as well as top. The only 2 roles left over. It looks like they're targeting Trick a little bit, at least that Olaf, which was definitely annoying in game 1.
Remember Punch from his time on Kongnu Monster in 2017. Actually looked like a very promising up-and-coming jungler at IEM at the end of 2016, and also for Kongnu Monster at the start of 2017, but very quickly fell off the boil and was, of course, replaced by Kongnu Monster at the end of 2017. Looked much better in Challenger, but then again, this team went 26-3, so they didn't do a whole lot of losing. His Lee Sin is a pick I remember, and Lee Sin priority around the world is on the up. Feels like Worlds, and Lee Sin is back, which is always something get a bit hyped about. Skarner going to be banned away, so Trundle Sejuani of the standard jungle picks, and the Gragas is now attended to, so we could see a trade of jungle tanks, or we could see something a bit more fiery. Which way will we go?
Definitely think we'll see jungle here out of DWG. Wait for that top. The one boring tank pick that's left over is the Sejuani. You also got Trundle still left available. There's always hope for Trundle versus Sejuani. I know Twitch chat loves that.
That was, of course, the matchup for every game for about, what, 2.5 weeks there in the middle of the season, especially every single game. It was the 2. No one would ban them, but everyone would pick them.
Now we could see Kindred Decided trick. He has played that a bunch in the past. It's 2-2 on it, but maybe I'm just getting my hopes up, guys.
You are.
Oh.
But now Crazy's the one that has to come up with a blind top laner. Camille's one he's played but not found value on.
Cho'Gath into Ornn.
In summer season. Ornn and Cho'Gath are there as blind picks. You think that because he's last pick in Nogri, he's going to pick damage dealer here, so that's definitely going to be at the back of the mind for Crazy. And he finds the Ornn button. This was other regions, the Scion will be here, but they want that engage, and they also don't want to have another game where it's a slam dunk in the late game coming through for Nuclear on the Kai'Sa. Hover on the Fiora. That one will be super hype. I don't know if we're going to see it here.
Yeah. It would definitely mean they'd get going on the 1-3-1, but it looks like instead, perhaps, a Darius, no, just going to be the gangplank, sit back and farm up, scale up. Seems to be the call here from DAMWON outside of the LeBlanc this time around.
But at least this draft is not, let's wait for 35 minutes and team fight with Kai'Sa. They have multiple threats in the comp. The LeBlanc can take over the game, as we know. Lane's definitely in a better spot for DAMWON, so it doesn't have to be slow and steady. Now with a draft that can actually flex their might before 30 minutes, will we see DAMWON Gaming meet our strong expectations for this squad in game number 2? There's also power on the side of bbq. They have very strong engage. They can turn off Baron and burn one member instantly with the Ornn ultimate into the Rakan engage and Syndra ending the story. But because the lanes have gotten stronger and there's also a lot of tools on the side of DAMWON, this is hopefully going to be a jab-for-jab boxing fight rather than the truce that was held in game number 1.
Game number 1, we did see the Tom Kent for Hoyt, actually. And when I looked at his stats, I got excited because of 7 games of Alistar, 7 games of Rakan, all wins, 7-0 on both of those engage, 3-0 on Pyke as well. And again, this is Challenger, but it does say to me this guy is an engaged support. He likes to get in their face. And that's what I want to get excited about here in game number 2 is can Hoyt show us why he's such a good Alistar here?
And after a 6 out of 10 Ornn game, now we get Nogri on his most played GP. Let's see if he can live up to the reputation, DAMWON. A lot of living up to do.
This is definitely the moment to make a statement, especially for Showmaker this time on something a little bit more aggressive. We'll see if he can take the lane to tempt this time around as we jump into game number 2, bbq up against DAMWON Gaming.
소환사의 협곡에 오신 것을 환영합니다.
I love the cute little DAMWON chant. They're, just a small challenger team, but maybe once they make to LCK, they can get the full chant going on.
Already had the one small challenger team live their dream and almost get right to first place in Griffin. That is definitely the prototype of what DAMWON Gaming are trying to do here. For now, Wicked LeBlanc's going to play around in the mid lane. Tempted very well in this matchup. You got to say, he gets the pass marks. He won this matchup in game number 1 pretty significantly. A lot of trifling done by Showmaker, who did not look respectful in his build or even his pathing in game number 1.
I mean, you can tell by his name, right? He's a guy that wants to make a show. He wants to get on in there. I suppose that's the story for LeBlanc as well. We saw a show. It wasn't what we wanted to see out of Showmaker in game 1, honestly. Can he give us what the fans want? Can he actually get us excited about a new young mid laner that's going to pop off and potentially LCK?
It's spoiled for choice recently when it comes to young mid laners. Chovy, BDD, Yukal, already the next generation of mid laners. Very, very clear, and it'd be cool to add Showmaker to that list. Looking here, it is Klepto GP, so not going to be the Resolve tree like we've seen more frequently. Against Orange, you get plenty of Klepto procs on, but if Trundle finds the right pillar, there's also some kill pressure between the Ornn and Trundle on this GP.
It's definitely something you look at as a jungler and say, hey, we could definitely go to that top side. I mean, he even went for Sorcery second, so he's going to be sitting back and just trying to fire as many guns into the face of Ornn without dying. Definitely pretty greedy here. We'll see if it pays off.
Has the Time Warp tonic. Definitely plenty of regen, but all that regen not as useful when a gank comes in and Trick says, I see that lack of defensive stats. He's already considering a dive, but going to start off with the Krugs first. Really important little moment. Ignar was able to spot Sejuani bot side, so there's no counter gank coming on the top side when Ignar is the battle warding member for bbq.
Look at Ignar, he's just getting stacks on his support item, just being a general annoyance. This is very much Ignar's style.
Is Ares just going to die in the meantime, though?
It's going to take a lot of damage. It's definitely a moment in solo queue where you begin to question mark ping your support, like what the hell are you doing? Get back into the lane.
Crazy's trying to wave clear as fast as possible to set up a dive, but unable to. So no going to be any punish coming through from Trundle. Do note, there were no substitutions coming into game number 2, so Ghost, after playing basically every game in the regular season, will not see play in potentially the second and final game of the night for bbq.
I feel at least give Ares a chance to show a series. I don't think it was his fault by any means that they lost. I don't think he had a spectacularly bad game as well. So give him another chance, see how it goes. You always have Ghost to fall back upon. I always, you know, in the beginning of this I said, hey, I'm not the biggest Ghost fan, but at the same time, Ares hasn't really proved too much to me either. So both of these guys still have an opportunity to impress Valdez.
Think of all the players that played at least 2 or 3 games. The only 2 who did not pick up a victory are Ares and probably the most sad to most of our longtime viewers, Kakao on the side of Jinner also did not pick up a victory. So not really sure what that means, but that is unfortunately a stat.
Against the knockup, against what bbq expected. Nice dodge of the pillar there, and the feather's not going to be enough to lock him down. Good prediction by Nuclear, just to juke to the left and not get stunned or slowed up there.
He was showing that he was going to keep kiting to the right, i.e. keeping the most distance away from the Trundle, but at the end, he darted the other way, so he didn't have to flash. Pillar probably should have been better from Trick, you got to say, but getting away without using flash there is kind of Christmas come early for Nuclear.
Doesn't have to burn anything, can stay in the lane, didn't even lose all that much health. Can have the Alistair to slowly heal him up. Can teleport a little bit later on. Of course, he's going to get down on the CS just a little bit as the wave is pushing into that turret.
Still, everything comfortable for now. Probably need things like Cannon Barrage to truly change this game, and no Mimic on the side of LeBlanc means he's going to play very, very respectful for this moment in time. CS lead is actually there for Ares, despite the fact that, of course, his support went roaming for such an extended time. Before level 3, there's not real true threat coming through from an Alistair, so the timing was probably pretty apt coming through from Ignar. Temp pushes in, he gets level 6, and Trick is going to use this time to investigate the jungle of DAMWON Gaming.
Finds a Boar Lady. Still, you know, he's got sights up on that top side, especially level 6 Ornn here. The Brittle's going to land as well as that knockup. Here's Trick. He's going to take that tower aggro. Noodly is not going to go for the flash and first blood as easy as you'd like with the pillar given on over to the top.
I feel like you can't do all those things at once. When you didn't take Resolve Tree, playing like that and going that far up gets punished. Good job by bbq, but a bit of a second look at Noguri doesn't impress us too much. Showmaker finally has his ultimate and can make things happen. We'll see how the play started here between Crazy and Noguri. Doesn't get the knockup, so you think Noguri's going to be fine, but at any point he can flash to a bit more relative safety. By the time Trick shows up, he knows that flash is not going to actually get him out. But it feels like kind of caught between too much greed there as Noguri and ends up going down.
Yeah, I mean, you said it, no resolve. You could see just how much damage an Ornn with no items can do to you. It's just chunking away at that GP. Makes it look like Ornn is super OP, but it's just the greedy build. Goes back by Zashin. Still has his flash, though. I like that he identified, okay, I screwed up. I'm not going to flash away from this at least. So he doesn't add insult to injury, and we'll have it for the next time that the Trundle goes top.
That would definitely have been the icing on the cake, so as you mentioned, small little win there. Merc Tread's purchases on both mid laners seems to be the meta. No more rushing for something like the Lost Chapter, just going for the Merc Treads. Against Syndra, it's very, very expected. Against LeBlanc, pretty much too, but we see it basically in almost every matchup. In fact, when we had an 80 matchup, we had the Ninja Tabi rushes coming through a few days ago. Probably going to be the world's item meta in mid lane, you'd imagine, with only one more set of patch notes coming out before we have all the information about the world's meta.
Just makes you safe overall. We're not living in a time where the mid laners are going to be solo killing each other every single day and just staying alive and getting farm and giving opportunities to your team by being there.
Well, not with that attitude, Valdez.
Well, you know, we've all seen your Orion. It's not the best at getting the solo
We
kills.
won that game. You were in it.
We did, but you know. Speaking of which, Showmaker finds himself a troll. Punch was here too. They could consider going in on this one. Doesn't look like it though, as Showmaker doesn't have a blue, and he doesn't have much mana.
Crazy. Looking pretty intimidating in the top side as this Orin. It's 23 CS up. And Kleptomancy isn't quite what it once was, so that's probably going to finally be a gold lead for a top laner against Klepto GP.
Whoa.
Well, we still see Zoe all the time, so you got to take your victories where you can get them. Farm, farm, farm. DAMWON want to make a play where the GP is not and use the GP ultimate to actually find a lead. Yeah, they're going to land, but it's going to be backing away as bot side, Punch still hasn't used his first ultimate, and we're really hoping to see a Sejuani actually nail some of those ultimates after the underwhelming performance from OnFleek earlier in the day.
His ults were not on fleek. We called them the party prisons because they went totally wild out to the outside and didn't land on anything, so maybe he watched that game. Actually, he did. We saw him in the crowd, and he's like, oh, well, maybe I shouldn't do this. I don't want to be the guy that throws out party prisons either. But realistically, just hasn't found an opportunity. Bot lane is always going to be hard when you're throwing a Glacial Prison at a Xayah or a Rakan. It's really hard to land that one. Instead, they're going to go for the Cloud Drake here. It's 4-on-3 so far. His tempt is a little bit late. Hoyt is stuck, but now he's going for the engage. The counter barrage as well as nuclear right in the front on top of that Glacial Prison that lands. Makes it seem easy peasy to take out Ares, who still has ult and still has flash.
That was actually a really sick play coming through from Hoyt. Remember, this is patch 817, and Trundle Pillar doesn't give vision. He wasn't actually spotted during that play. That's why he stayed, and even though it looked like he was stuck, he was ready for a headbutt pulverize. Nice punishment coming through from the Alistar.
Yeah, definitely need to take a look at this once again. They have the control ward, as you mentioned. They have no idea he's there.
No. It looks really dodgy, but that's because of the vision toggle and us having full information. Really nicely played by DAMWON Gaming. Gets that all-important kill. They don't take the Drake, though. It stays on the Rift.
It's a good kill. You take out the carry down the bottom side, give some space for Nuclear to actually go back and buy. You can see this Ornn is just bullying the GP up in the top side.
And he has the bullying build, too. No frozen heart. We got an Iceborne Gauntlet for kill pressure. Love to see it. Don't see it too often. Cool stuff from Crazy. Still, Noguri that time had to flash away from the Owen Horn. We saw it on the minimap, but didn't actually have it on screen. He's so damn squishy, you forget that with no resolve tree, these top laners can actually die once in a while.
Definitely see that a bit in lower level solo queue. They're just, I mean, I can take Kleptomancy, so I will take Kleptomancy. Don't see that all too often here. Nice engage by Hoyt once again to get the Featherstorm, this time out of Ares. You can see this guy is pretty nice on his Alistar based on what we've seen so far.
Alistar will always be in the meta if his numbers aren't too far down, because you can press 2 regular buttons and you have a Malphite ultimate, and people have to make negative trades of cooldowns basically every time. It's so difficult to trade up in cooldowns. Not even the Sivir Spell Shield answers. Nice Scout of the Week there comes through from Temp, but ends up being pretty even between the mid laners.
See that Tempt also pretty well practiced in the matchup. Just knows, okay, throughout the Scout of the Week, you're probably going to hit a LeBlanc if she's running straight at you, regardless of if she pops back. Got to just line it up. The bullying continues in the top side. Notice that Crazy took Resolve, which is, of course, pretty normal, but Trick waiting on a ward here. Nice little ward placement. Yep. Funny how that can peek around the edge of that cliff there.
Slapping wards left, right, and center. We are waiting with bated breath to see the first Glacial Prison. but we're hyped about.
It happened actually after Hoyt engaged.
Yes,
That's why
yes.
Isaiah wasn't able to do anything. So he's 1 for 1.
Okay.
So good score so far.
Hey, you're only as good as your last Glacial Prison, in my opinion.
Definitely true. Speaking of which,
Oh, look at the damage.
I mean, it's okay. Well,
What?
crazy you had your moment, but
He will really hope that one wasn't on camera.
we saw everything, actually, from the beginning to the trade to the end.
Nuclear, Hoyt, and Punch walk up. They're trying to get as much turret damage as possible. Remember, they can call in GP ult as well. The BBQ need to get people here fast, and they're taking a very slow route.
Nice engage. The TP comes in. That should be Ornn on top of them. Punch flashes away, but it's a little bit too late with the Ignite ticking down. Ignar, though, is going to be traded back. The Ignite did come out from Hoyt. Looking for the follow-up. He gets the slow onto him. The feathers come out as well as the pillar. And Crazy is going to pick up that kill. He's now 3-0 on the Ornn.
And Huffs and Possum blows them away. 3-0 on the Ornn. They don't have to move their members. Showmaker walked back down, realized he had no mana, and went back to the mid lane. They're not going to get a structure for this, but the kills do mean the GP's laning phase is going to be even more annoying as Ornn comes back and he continues to stack up items.
At least Noguri is given a little bit of time to just free farm for now, but I feel like they just overstayed. Nice ward and good engage from Ignar.
It was really good engage because we noted how slow the path from Syndra was. They tried to be very respectful to not be caught in transition. Because of that, Showmaker never even got there. He just abandoned it after walking down, and thus kills are eventually registered. Gonna blow open the game, and Ornn picking up all the kills is good on the one hand and not ideal on the other. Nuclear backs away. Ares will take the farm, but any objectives still have not been taken. We've had 5 scuttles, but no real other neutrals taken down in the better part of 15 minutes.
Well, you say that, but Crazy trying to get in there and take the first one on the map. Now the Scuttle Crab vision is there. Not sure exactly how he got into the pit. Maybe he skirted around the edge, but Trick also trying to slowly make his way in, and Punch is going to say, what the hell, there are people in here actually. Trying to get out of here, but he doesn't have an escape now, and well, he's going to go down. Nice free kill on a Punch.
He had no idea that was happening. He didn't have his Q because he got interrupted by one of the members of BBQ, and thus had no ability to get out. It looks silly, but ends up just being a donation. Should be the Rift Herald also to the side of BBQ. DAMWON making just a smattering of mistakes in both games. So nice pickups, and again, BBQ stay ahead of DAMWON, but not to the tune of a meaningful gold lead.
It'll be interesting to do a poll right now for what the fans think. What do they think, DAMWON Gaming or Battle Comics? Who's the stronger team? So far, DAMWON had the higher hype, and well, they haven't been really impressing overall. But as you mentioned, the Arctic Assault was blocked. There was no escape for the no flash punch. And now the pressure's going to come in with the Rift Herald in the top side by Trick.
They want to keep this up. BBQ weren't able to stick the landing on tempo play in game number 1. DAMWON come online earlier this game, but early is not 15 minutes, and wherever the Ornn goes, good things surely are going to happen. And speaking of good things,
looks like he does not have his ultimate available. Just going to walk away from that one. Pillar not good enough, but it's a hefty amount of damage up on the top side. Punch looking to trade something back with just a Cloud Drake down here.
oh, look at this. Naguri's shown respect and gone Hex Drinker for lane. Feels awful, man. When it comes to getting onto his Trinity Force, it's going to take a long time now. And meanwhile, wherever Ornn goes, he's got his horn, he's got the extra damage. He's going to out-damage the GP for a long time. Oh, boy.
How about 2 items at 16 minutes for the Ornn?
Somehow they turned this into a further scaling comp, did DAMWON Gaming. That's an eyesore. I feel offended looking at the items. Still, he's going to go walk up. He's going to try and take farm. The parlay didn't kill the minion. Oh, dear. Well, at the end of the day, just seeing some of the early plays. It was Trick making those visits topside, and that early kill has really led to that sinking feeling on the side of the GP.
It feels awful, man, isn't an emote on Twitch. Maybe somebody out there can make one just for Noguri after this game. He's slowly trying to piece together that Trinity Force, just the one dagger. like the double Dark Seal here from Showmaker. Get a little bit extra sustain in the lane and can stack up pretty fast if he gets those kills. So far, just 1 assist.
Still, bbq pushing up. We want to see plays like this. The Ornn Horn available. They push up.
They kind of barrage. Hoyt looking for that moment. Looks like he's just going to go on to Trick in the front side, who definitely overstayed his welcome. And in the backside, there's the LeBlanc getting out that Rakan, just making him disappear off the rift. And so a nice proactive move from bbq, but DWG Gaming shut them down.
Really bizarre overstay from Trick in particular. Was he stunned from something? Because I was stunned by the fact that he was under the turret for that long. Between the fact that the minions were definitely going to die, just means that he goes down. The secondary kill goes on to Ignar. We're going to get the replay here. Definitely need to move away the moment you see the Alistair, but Trick stays forward, greeting for the turret, I guess, and then just get chain CC to death.
I mean, even if he got a couple more autos, it wasn't going to be enough to get at the turret, so wasn't even a good trade for his life. And how about a dive in the bottom side and 5 stacks on both of the Dark Seals for Showmaker?
Well, this suddenly went to 11, specifically around Showmaker. If you look at this bot side, there's only red vision there, no blue wards from Ignar on the bot side of the map, so Wicked LeBlanc gets to go back to the base. You're going to see the replay here. There's no vision at all. Ares comes in, mostly full health, but LeBlanc has her 1 item, and Ares has no life.
I mean, in the last fight, we see the Feather Storm, and we know that Showmaker sees it. The second he sees a low health Ares, he's like, okay, I guess I'm going to kill you then. It's just Ares needs to know that damage calculation, that he is going to die against the LeBlanc. Otherwise, he's going to die like that every single time.
Definitely didn't seem like a veteran move from Ares, so we were a bit puzzled to see in the starting lineup after Ghost got so many games in the regular season. He'll need a Hex Drinker too, it's very clear, and maybe that will come in too late. Went for the Merc Tread, so has some magic resist. Looking at the overall gold numbers, not often that Ornn is 1,200 gold ahead of GP, but he's a 4-0 Ornn. He is a very, very scary man.
It's just such a bizarre thing to look at, 4-0 Ornn. Temps trying to predict that play is going to be dodged here, but the chain's missed by Showmaker. Now you got a Rakan in here, as well as a Syndra ultimate. Trying to dodge to the bottom side. Can he out-sustain? Oh, the play! He hops back, and he can get away from them in the end. Trick is not going to be in range. What a play by Showmaker.
Finally gets something on his highlight reel. That one, get it on YouTube. Very nice stuff there coming through from Showmaker. He backs away, he doesn't go down, all the time is wasted. Big moment for DAMWON.
Wow. They thought he was gonna die, they were chasing him, not sure what to do, and then he just hops back. Oh man, nicely done by him. Finally putting on a show for us, I like it. 2-0 now on the LeBlanc.
And it means so much more than the fact that 300 gold didn't go to the enemy team, because now everyone's that much more tilted on the side of bbq, because you just know you got punked by the outplay there from Showmaker. bbq need to stick the landing on their next move. They cannot let that get into their heads.
Yeah, definitely need to see the replay of this.
So gets hit by the first. Stun there, and then the moment that Ignar goes in, you're like, okay, well, this is Showmaker eating humble pie, but he doesn't burn down. Both members run at him, and unfortunately, he has a place to go to. So if you want to think about it with no emotion, it's like, well, of course he's going to go that way, but in the end, it makes bbq look silly.
Yeah. Just that split-second decision, you think he's going to die, and then all of a sudden he's not, and everybody's first instinct is, oh, well, we got to chase him. And then you remember it's LeBlanc. And you get fooled. Putting on the trickery, that's what she does. Let's see how this trade goes. 4-0 Ornn up against nothing GP. And wow, that Hex Drinker definitely coming into use to keep him alive, but it doesn't feel good in the end.
But the friends are coming. DAMWON Gaming are hunting.
They should be able to take him out here. Rakan is walking down the lane. Crazy gonna try to stay alive for now. He is super tanky. He's gonna flash away. In goes the Rakan, but a failed combo from Hoyt is gonna make him go to safety. Says, thank you very much, all right on the Alistair train.
It might be a bigger character model, but that was a really damn impressive escape by an Ornn as well. More slippery than you could have imagined. That is what happens when you got some extra items to not die in instantly. We're trading little outplays, and now both sides feeling a little bit sheepish.
Yeah. all that extra gold, you just pick up an extra giant's belt of health, and that's definitely the moment where that Ornn is not supposed to be this tanky at 22 minutes, but he is. How about Punch getting caught here in the river? You got a Syndra on the top side too. I suppose he didn't see her either, as that's just going to be a kill and a flash given over by Punch.
Turns out that sliced pork was a little bit easier of an entree in this particular game. They took down Punch much easier than the LeBlanc a moment earlier. Trick walking up, he is obscenely tanked.
Okay, let's see if he can survive this though. Look at that burst damage coming out from the barrel as well as nuclear. Just get him in vision there. Trick didn't think that there were going to be 3 people right on top of him.
Gotta say, thought he would live longer with the Warmogs, but still ended up dying very, very quickly. Had the Warmogs at the time, only just added a Kindle Gem now on top of it. DAMWON Gaming walk over to the Cloud. Second Cloud of the game would be picked up here, and Alistair certainly looks at that and feels pretty excited.
Curious about the third one. What's it going to be? How about a third Cloud Drake? That's really nice for the side of DAMWON and the Alistair. It's pretty nice for GP too, just to make sure you're in range. You can pull off QV plays if you have enough movement speed.
Trick walking up. This is, again, a bit more elementary. Not too much of nuance about this play. They walk up, press all their buttons, and he dies. But the turret is taken down by Showmaker in the split push in the meantime. And I should also mention that in the meantime, it also means that GP has items and a bit of CS lead. So GP's found time, and now turret dive.
Oh, trying to block it here is Trick. Doesn't have his flash this time around, but Ornn from downtown is only going to get Hoyt on the retreat here. So DAMWON Gaming proving that they know when to retreat when going for a turret.
And the Sejuani and GP ults used in that particular play. Crazy zoning away Nuguri from getting there. With Oars roaming, Nuguri's actually a level up on Crazy. Kind of amazing to think about.
Crazy is still definitely tanky, but either way, Showmaker trying to fool Tempt, and the rest of them was able to dodge everything on the hop forward. And yeah, DAMWON Gaming in a pretty nice spot here, up 2,000 gold at about 25 minutes. They have that scaling with the GP and Kai'Sa, and a nice Fed LeBlanc in their back pocket. Doesn't have the TP, but at least the Kai'Sa does for a double TP on the team.
So ready to fight as well. QSS is there. No Hex Drinker, might end up having both items as the game goes on. So in the gold lead here, after Crazy's great plays, they found a small gold lead, but the scale is the important thing here. Only now cresting 2,000 gold lead for the first time this game. DAMWON, if they can make this about Baron and get bbq face checking, they will feel really good about the position they're in. Strong Baron damage coming through from Nuclear. Good turn options for Hoyt and Punch.
Still definitely is a way for bbq to take over this mid game. I feel like Ignar's engages have been quite clean this time around on the Rakan. We saw what he was doing even in game number 1. He's always been one of the guys on bbq trying to keep things together and going for the big time engages. And most of the time being pretty clean.
That's why we're always happy to see him off Tom Kent's duty and onto something like the Rakan and the Alistair. bbq pushed through mid side. Vision right now is pretty good defensively by bbq. They're not going to be flanked on the left side, as we can see. But Showmaker bringing up the side waves. Don't expect as much 1-3-1 with LeBlanc as with the previous LeBlanc iteration, where Gunblade made her so proficient in the side lane, could just sustain off minion waves. Still able to excel in that way, and level 16 is still when LeBlanc really takes off, and she's very close to that, been sitting on level 15 for quite a while.
The last Whisper picked up here by GP. I suppose that's a good way to punch through that front line, all that armor that especially the Ornn does have.
It's definitely going to be into the Mortal Reminder here for a bit more help when it comes to cutting down the healing. The Trundle especially going to be obnoxious with Warmogs, and just in general, how he works to be a double Warmogs frontline, as we can see now completed. So Morellonomicon and LeBlanc is one way, but going to be that much earlier Mortal Reminder than you'd imagine. Usually Yomu's Ghostblade is thrown in the Storm Razor, so...
Or Asterix, you know, there's a lot of other big items that you see, but
Last Whisper as itself kind of sucks as an item because it's very gold inefficient, but the Mortal Reminder will be very helpful for the team, and they need that healing cut down. Otherwise, hard to cement the first kill, and if you don't cement it, Trick and Crazy go off the screen for a second, come back with full health, and then if your ults are on cooldown for DAMWON, you'll find it very hard to repel something like a Baron buff take.
Trick attempt spotted here. Wouldn't be surprised if between these two teams we see a very similar mid-game to what we saw in game number 1, right? bbq definitely lean to the side of passivity, whereas DWG Gaming, they're not in a rush to, rush down a Baron or do anything like that just yet.
Want to see something from Ares in a team fight, because again, Ares hasn't really put his best foot forward this series, not really called his name too often. He's got 2.5 items, he has the potential to do something. For now, just wave clearing as we can see.
Oh, really nice Charm and engage there from Ignar. They're finally going to take out the LeBlanc, but the follow-up will take out Ignar. He's still very squishy on the back front, and Ares as well takes a huge helping of damage. So Showmaker, I suppose he made something happen.
It ended up being too aggressive. It's easier to be slippery on this version of LeBlanc where you don't have to stay in lock-in range and wait for your passive, but still ends up getting caught by Rakan. Very nice play and very, very squishy as Ignar just randomly stunned the wall there for no reason.
I like the barrels there. That was a key play.
Just watch Showmaker comes in. He's level 16, so he's being so good about QR and then doing it again in a few seconds that gets hit by the Grand Entrance, gets hit by the Charm, and then gets into the Death Chamber. Nice punishment coming through from Ignar in particular. Gets them another kill, but how many times this series has it been one pick into no objective coming through from bbq? Add that one to the list.
Speaking of objectives, that third Cloud Drake just about to spawn here. Already got the LeBlanc heading over to blue and potentially over in that direction. You can see that Noguri now doesn't really care about the orange. It's just really fast. I say that though, Crazy is getting on top of him, finally making that happen, whereas Noguri was just sitting there and getting some Klepto stacks. That was about it.
In the meanwhile, Nuclear getting solo farm and solo experience topside. Seems like DAMWON are happy enough to give up the Cloud Drake for perhaps the third item. Recent trends have been Hurricanes, maybe the Hurricane completion here for Nuclear. He's happy to push up, 1 Cloud versus 2, so no worries about giving up that single Cloud. Pushing up, but Syndra not going to find it easy to actually pick up a kill from that far away. Is Hoyt just dead here?
They're looking for it. He does have his ultimate available. I think he could definitely turn this around. Here's Showmaker. And you can see that bbq know it too. They're like, oh, well, it's an Alistair, so we can't really go in on that.
It's a bit of a merry-go-round here for bbq because now it's Nuguri in the bot side who's making the pushing play. Same sort of hyper-scaling on the GP. Ares!
Okay, there's the Featherstorm. This time Ignar not quite as quick. Almost felt like a bait there, as this time around Showmaker knew when to get out of dodge.
DAMWON playing some yakety sax here, running bbq around the map. If bbq can't actually cement one of these kills, they're gonna lose objectives. He's a GP ult to zone.
Ares already so low. You get that extra damage. You mentioned it, the zoning power. They finally get that one. Showmaker just playing around, it feels like. Looking for that target. Not really getting anything, but definitely kind of laughing in the face of bbq.
And now, DAMWON are once again getting big CS leads. It's a huge CS lead for Nuclear, around 60 already.
Okay, they are really going in on this one, but now we got Hoyt coming in from behind, and now the Ornn is not in position. Nuclear gonna get right into that back line. The flash on over for 10, and Nuclear against Ares easily gonna win that one. Definitely a mistake not to complete the teleport once you already started it. Now Ignar, he's gonna go down too. A couple of mistakes. Immediately, DWG Gaming pounce on that.
They swoop so well, they've got a lot of engage, so when they spot the mistake, they punish it. Now they walk up to Baron. And what you gonna do, bbq? You got an Ornn ultimate to try to zone, but they desperately want this one, DWG Gaming.
Yeah, it doesn't look like bbq are even gonna go near it. They know what they've done. They have to pay penance to that. And down will go the Baron over to the side of DWG Gaming. Let's take a look once again.
So the TP's coming in from the Ornn. He cancels it, and then from there, they feel like they're out of dodge and don't have to worry, but Hoyt just walks in. They have the ability to combo from here. Showmaker and Nuclear can both come from a screen off and put in damage, such as LeBlanc. and also the killer instinct from the Kai'Sa. So they get their 2 picks, they get their objective, and it's that counterpoint to all of the table setting from bbq that led to no objectives. And we told Alive Elders, the last Whisper has actually turned into a Lord Dominic's regard. He's going for max damage, is this GP, against the tank front line of bbq.
Well, it seems like it's pretty nice based on the last fight, but yeah, you raised a really good point. I mean, you don't see Hoyt for 1 second, and all of a sudden he's on top of you. You're going to have everybody there. Eventually, the GP with his movement speed and the cannon barrage and everything else. Sejuani can have that dash. Of course, LeBlanc and Kai'Sa go without saying. It's just a very nice, immediate collapse kind of composition once you get into these team fights, and it all goes off of the back of Hoyt. Punch if he can land one of these prisons. Trying to get this ult out of Hoyt here, finally bait him into using that one.
Kind of a micro objective though in the grand scheme, but if it delays a Baron buff push, you feel good about that. And Nuguri looks at that and says, I'm gonna go find a minion wave. He's got the Storm Razor now. The Lord Dominic's been finished for a while. Showmaker hits the side lane, and Syndra never wants to rotate second and be caught in rotation. The minion waves push in. DAMWON Gaming only have about half the Baron buff duration to actually find a decisive objective from the first Baron.
Well, the push is going to come straight down the mid lane, it looks like, from the side of DAMWON Gaming. Definitely looking to get some vision into this red side jungle first to make it safer for both mid and bot pushes. Now it looks like bbq are just going to go for it. Going to get the knock-up on the 2 tanks immediately. Glacial Prison to the backside and double barrel into that backside as well. All the while, Showmaker just pushed in the bot lane.
Turret was already low, so finishing it off, getting that standing goal. Now Orin's being rotated over to Answer. Tanky doesn't have the on ult, so probably the smart use there. In the mid lane, though, look at this burst.
Look at the GP by himself, just zoning 3 members. And he's looking to do it once again. Oguri, he's 6-0 on GP. He wants a 7th win coming out of Challenger. Wait with this Hex Flash too. You could see he was looking for a moment to shine there towards the end.
Looks like that new generation best of 5 is going to happen, Valdez, after celebrating the Griffin story in summer. Looks like we're going to guarantee at least 1 new team from Challenger, because if DAMWON Gaming closes this one, it'll be DAMWON versus Battle Comics. Someone has to win, and that means 1 team is definitely going to LCK 2019.
A very appetizing idea for sure. Now bbq, they're not out of this, but they're, you know, down 10,000 gold, and it looks like DWG Gaming have that moment.
Hey!
And Hoyt's right into the back line. Isn't able to get a big knockup, and he's just distracting everybody. And here's the Kai'Sa looking to dodge everything out and do the damage to the front line at the same time. At the end of the day, nobody dies, but you can see how DAMWON kind of playing with their food.
It's actually 4v5 the entire time, as Showmaker didn't even join. Showmaker might die.
Looks like he will here in the end. Going a little bit too aggressive on that one. Gets punished by Tempt, who is desperately trying to carry this team.
He's got too frisky because he felt frustrated that he couldn't actually dive in with the Alistar over the wall. Instead, tries to make a play in the mid lane with the Dregs of the Baron buff and goes down. So 1 step forward, 2 steps back, 2 steps forward coming through from Showmaker in this series. Not quite living up to the billing of one of the best mid laners outside of the LCK.
I definitely get a feel like he's desperately trying to show off, you know? He's trying to put that show on for us, and at least I can respect that. Might mean a loss in the game, though. You got to be really careful, as now the Elder Drake is going to be given over to bbq.
And it means a loss in the Elder, which is already a pretty big objective to give over. It's the best objective trade bbq have taken all series. It is a pretty low-value Elder. It's one of those denial Elders. It's only a bit more movement speed, but the true damage, of course, is nice. We back away. DAMWON Gaming, if we're going to fully judge the Baron, don't break the base with the first Baron. That means hopefully we will see something resembling a team fight before the game ends, but hard for bbq to close the gold gap too much. May not quite be 10,000, but it's pretty close.
Definitely get the feel like DAMWON are still in the driver's seat, but got to be careful about throwing games. You do this up against a top 5 or even top 7 team in LCK. They're going to clap back right away. Maybe not from this far behind, but you just got to be so careful about doing that. I know there are a lot of young mid laners that watch Faker versus Ryu, Zed versus Zed, and they're like, I want to be the guy that makes the crowd scream. Perhaps that's Showmaker, but We'll see if he can actually carry his team this time, as now he's gonna get caught. The charm comes in, has to get out of dodge right away. They're gonna knock a puncher, and Ansley goes down to the subjugate. Here's Nuclear though into the back line. Can he do the damage? Takes out the Xayah, flashes away, takes out another one. He's trying to kite crazy here, but down he will go. The damage from Noguri is enough to take out these two on the backside anyway. He has punch. Hoyt is staying alive forever as well on the top side. And now Noguri is here to shoot them in the face. Might not be able to take out Ignar, but he's going to get on top attempt here and gets that final barrel to the face. He's flashing forward too. The triple kill to Noguri. He wants that 7th win on GP.
And it must feel so cathartic after being bossed around the laning phase, dealing with laning-focused Orin with his Iceborne Gauntlet. This was against the Elder Dragon, and they clear the buff off of bbq. So even though it starts with Showmaker getting DPS'd out and actually dying, I believe, to the second proc of the Trundle ultimate, the fact that they're able to clear the buffs and win the team fight shows that the gold lead ends up being more consequential.
When you have that clean of an engage from Ignar as well, you got to be careful. You can't be in that range.
So Hoyt gets the 4 to 5 man, I believe it might have even been 5-man knockup. And then, like you mentioned, we were focused on the bot side. Will Nuclear live? When will they eventually kill Crazy? Hoyt spends this whole time keeping people around on the top side.
Yeah.
1v2 against Rakan and Syndra. They can't take down the count, and then he gets the double knock up again. So you gotta say, in the end, he may have gone down, but Hoyt was the true beast of that team fight.
For me, so far for DAMWON Gaming, it's not about Showmaker, right? The guys that are making the show for me, they're Noguri and Hoyt, 100%, right? Nuclear's good, he's right on top of them the second they get the engage, but it's the 5-man pulverize. It's Noguri being able to come back from behind in the lane and now carry a game as GP. That gets me excited for this team.
Huge gold lead for Nuclear, who just Flame Horizoned Ares. As we're mentioning this, he is decked out and then some. That was when he went in as a solo threat with LeBlanc already out of the fight. If LeBlanc's still tussling, feels like Nuclear is thinking about a pentakill to announce the arrival of DAMWON Gaming.
If Showmaker just does any damage in a fight, they're gonna destroy bbq, okay? 53 damage, that's basically 0. They're gonna go for a 5-man engage, this time on to Alistair, who has his ultimate. Nice Featherstorm to dodge that Glacial Prison. Good 3-man knockup. Here's that Kai'Sa. 2 shots to Xayah. And now Ignar's gonna be out of the fight as well. And this time Showmaker will do that damage. And you got Noguri in the front line as well. Putting down the barrels. There's the follow-up engage. A triple kill to Nuclear. And that's gonna do it for this game, guys. The quadra kill, they finally make it happen.
And whenever you play support, you know you've done your job when everyone tries to turn on the Alistair with his ultimate and kill him first. Hoyt was able to bait them for the longest time, and DAMWON Gaming today, thank you very much. We're going to that final winners match.
They definitely will be. Ignar is just running down to the bottom side. He's had enough of this game. He's going to be emoting down there by himself as he knows it's over. Just doesn't want to be doved in the pool, and there you have it. DAMWON Gaming will go up against Battle Comics in the winners match on Thursday.
For the first time in 2 years, we will have both of the teams coming up from Challenger facing for a guaranteed spot. On that day, it was Hongdu Monster facing down against MVP. So MVP facing down against ESC Ever back then. Now, we are going to be seeing DAMWON Gaming against Battle Comics. People had their hype around DAMWON. I feel like some of it was founded in this game, but we didn't get a full tutorial on why this might be a team to watch coming into 2019. They will certainly come among the favorites to make it out of the 4 teams, but the LCK teams really did struggle today. 4-0 for Challenger over LCK after Griffin were 1 game away from straight up winning LCK Summer.
Yeah, definitely a feels bad man moment for the side of bbq. Nothing but disappointment here today. Got close a couple of times. I think in game 1 they had a couple opportunities, but they just could not close out the game. Their passivity came back to bite them in the butt, and now they have to go into a loser's match up against MVP. They have to win that somehow. That's not going to be easy. And then they have to go into a final best of 5 as well and prove to us that they are LCK material. Otherwise, they're going to jump down to challengers.
It's been a year of highlighting new talent, and it seems like we are guaranteed some first-time LCK players, and if DAMWON comes in, a couple of old faces as well. They're not going to feel too great. You can see no elation on the faces of DAMWON. They haven't qualified for anything, but this was a Hoyt showpiece ever since he played around with the Trundle Pillar not giving vision and getting the headbutt pulverized bot side. Everywhere he went, it just ended up being big benefit to the side of DAMWON game.
This guy knows how to position as well. He's always threatening in the backside. He's not just waiting for a follow-up. You know, he's going to be the guy that gets in there. Showmaker, I feel like after this play, he just decided he was League of Legends' greatest player, and then he was like, I can do anything I want. But this play, definitely one for the highlight.
I mean, if this was, of course, you know, a movie, his mother would come in and say, son, you're trying too hard. He was trying really hard to show off all his abilities, but in the end, I think it ended up costing him more than it benefited him, and instead it was cool, calm, and collected Hoyt, who now is 8-0 on Alistair in this season, who was the true star of this one. Some of these plays where Showmaker was caught to start off ended up actually being beneficial, but this is the one where Noguri got to pay back his laning phase and kill everyone, and that was the headbutt pulverized to start. And even with his ultimate down, he wasted time of Tempt and Ignar for a good 8 to 10 seconds.
That's what you call a god, Alistair. You love this guy in your solo queue games. He's carrying from the support role. It's that Mad Life feel, you know. I'm not saying that Hoyt is Mad Life, but it's definitely that feel of, okay, this Alistair is carrying a game by himself. Definitely got that. Noguri was able to scale up, did his GP things towards the end of the day. I have to say that individually, like mechanically, Showmaker is also quite good. He just needs to calm down a little bit. Noguri and Hoyt obviously have it alongside Nuclear. This team definitely impressed me today.
But with the kind of duality of DAMWON being a little bit too fancy but still winning, and Team Battle Comics kind of just being really solid, especially in game number 2, that makes a very fascinating best of 5, especially when you include the historic point that Battle Comics were the reason that DAMWON couldn't emulate Griffin's 14-0 run. So I'm very excited to see the match we would deny, because the format changed. There was no best of 5 between DAMWON Gaming and also Team Battle Comics. We'll get one in 2 days' time as, yeah, GP things, 32,000 damage for him, 30,000 damage for the Kai'Sa, and bbq Olivers continue with their losing streak. They are one match away from being in Challengers in 2019.
So guys, we are going to go over to the interview with the DAMWON Gaming players. I'll send it over to Ji-sun for the translation.
Thank you very much. This is Ji-sun with your interview translation. Right now, we're going to hear from Noguri and Showmaker from DAMWON Gaming. Congratulations.
네, 워낙에 DAMWON 게이밍은
Well, you know, a lot of fans are hyped about DAMWON even before the promotion. I think you guys proven yourself with your performance today. How do you guys feel?
일단 이 승강전 무대가 처음인데
This is my first time at promotions, so I was kind of nervous.
시작하기 전에 좀 긴장을 많이
Before going into games, I was really shaky and nervous, but during the games, I was getting better and better, and also my teammates were doing so well.
선수는 어떠셨어요?
What about you, Showmaker?
일단 제가 좀 많이 못했는데 약간
I kind of underperformed today. I got carried actually, so I feel really good.
반성을 더 많이 해서 더
I think I gotta go back and practice more and come back with better performance on the winners matchup.
아니 근데 1세트에서는 뭐 좀 아쉬운 모습이 좀 있었던 것 같은데 너구리 선수가 보기에 뭐 어땠어요? 2세트는 잘하셨잖아요.
Well, I think he did super great on game 2.
제가 너무 말려가지고
Well, me, I was doing really bad at game 2.
걱정하느라
I was actually worried about myself.
잘 못 봐가지고
So I wasn't really aware of what was happening in the mid lane.
이렇게 잘 살아가는 게
And the great escape on top lane from Showmaker, I think it was a super play.
showmaker 잘했대요.
Well done, Showmaker.
아쉬워요.
네 오늘은 좀 많이 못했던
Well,
것
today,
같고요.
no, I did not play well.
진짜 잘할게요.
I'm gonna come back with super better performance on the winners match.
아쉬운 모습이 좀 있었지만 2세트는 그래도 저희가 보기에는 뭐 슈퍼 플레이도 많이 나왔기 때문에
Game 2, obviously there were so many super plays and great performances.
특히 이제 DAMWON 게이밍에서도 너구리 선수가
Especially
많은 분들이
Noguri.
되게 관심 갖더라고요.
You were the key player
LCK
of
무대에서
DAMWON
너구리
Gaming.
선수 플레이 보고 싶다. 이거 어떠셨어요?
Everyone was
좀
looking
부담이
forward to
됐을
watch
것
her plays
같아요.
today.
부담도 되긴 하는데 솔직히
I actually had some pressures,
더 좋은 것
but
같아요.
it's more like a compliment, so I'm really happy.
한편은 좀 이게 부담이 이제 경기할 때
During the games,
잘 못하거나 그럴 때
when I
이제
make
부담이
mistakes,
느껴지긴
it does
하는데
come
그런
as
걸좀
an
잘 견뎌내야
pressure, but
잘
I think it is my role to overcome those kind of pressure, so I'm working on it.
좀 어찌 보면 조금 더 높은 무대, 큰 무대잖아요.
네네.
Well,
오늘
you
잘
are on
이겨낸
a
것
bigger
같으세요?
stage, so how was
오늘
today's
그래도
match?
저희 이제 거의 신인, 그러니까 승강전 처음 하는 이런
Yeah, it is our first
사람들이
time,
많은데
네.
especially at promotion.
좀 이제 긴장도 좀 그래도 덜 하고 하면서 잘했던
I
것
think
같아요.
we are getting better.
저 궁금했던 게 1세트에서 진짜
game
진
one.
줄 알았어요. 그 백도어 누구
Well,
아이디어였는지 많은
Everyone
분들이
wants to know
궁금해하실
the
것
back door.
같은데요.
Whose call was it?
그때 좀 누가 하는지 저도 잘 기억이 안 나는데
I don't actually remember.
네네. 쇼메이커 선수는 기억나요?
What about you, Shoemaker? Do you remember it?
약간 다 같이 아니, 그래도
Well,
원딜
actually, just as
뉴클리어
5.
형이 약간
I think nuclear maybe.
탔으니까
He used his
정현이 형이
TP.
한것 같아요. 네,
So I guess it was
기억은 안
nuclear.
나지만 왠지
네, 잘 기억은 안 나는데
I also don't remember.
기억날지도 몰라요. 여기서
Well, let's go through the replay then.
시작이 됐다고 볼 수가 있었는데 여기서 이때는 어떤 식으로 싸웠던 거예요?
What was going on over
저희
here?
장로를 저쪽에 쳐가지고
네.
이제 좀
Well, they were
막아보자고
trying
했는데 장로가 먹히고
the Elder Dragon,
카이사가 이제 들어갔는데
and they
이게
took
좋은
it.
진입각은 아니었거든요. 그래서
네.
이제
And Kaisa-
싸우면 안 되겠다 하고
We felt like this is not a winning team fight, so we should rather just try to backdoor.
아니 진짜 그게 어찌 보면 되게 위험한
It
판단이었을 수도
could be a very
있는데
risky
이때
decision,
이게
but
관객석도
it turned out to be a great
그렇고
result.
막 소리를 지르면서
all the fans out here were
엄청나게 또
so
환호해
hyped about the
주셨습니다.
results.
이렇게 해서 1세트는 참 어찌
Game
보면
one,
놀라운,
it was a
네,
very
백도어로
amazing and
전략으로
interesting
또 승리를
game.
가져가셨는데 2세트에서는 뭐 두 분 다
Moving on to game two.
초반에 조금 아쉬웠지만은
Well, there were some struggles in the early games, but it ended up all right. The triple kill in the end. How was it?
트리플 킬 장면 잘 기억이 안 나는데
Well, I don't even remember that also, but
후반이었어요.
it was a late game.
근데 아마 알리가 좀 잘 들어가는
I think
편이에요.
영상
Alyssa.
지금 보고 싶어서
Alyssa did really well.
영상 보고 싶은 거죠?
Do you want to go through the replay?
해요.
볼게요.
Yes,
그러면.
please.
자, 영상 보면서 이때 기억이 나는지 한번 보겠습니다. 기억나요, 이제?
네.
I remember now.
근데 알리가
네.
되게
Alistair.
잘 진입을 되게 잘했거든요.
It was a great engagement.
그래가지고 그냥 약간
He opened the team fight really well,
평타 하다 보니까
so I would just auto attack,
주역이 알리가 아닌가.
and I was able to pick up all the kills. I think the real credit goes to Alistair.
이제 계속해서 후반부터는 완벽히 뭐 분위기를 가져가면서
in the late games, I think
무난하게 승리 가져가겠다는
DAMWON
생각이
Gaming
들었는데
was obviously in a very big
이 세트는
lead.
더 쉬웠던 것 같아요.
And game 2 seemed to be a little bit more easier than game 1.
2세트에 일단 저희가 이제
Game 2,
이거까지.
바텀이랑 미드 쪽 조금 주도권이
I think the bot laners and all the mid laners had laning priority.
그런 게임이 되다 보니까 아무래도 그런 게임에
So we were able to pick up victory in the end.
그래서 좀 쉽게 가는 것 같아요.
쇼메이커 선수도 2세트
Showmaker, how was game 2?
네,
You were doing great.
잘했죠.
Well, in the mid early games I was doing well, but
보여주셨잖아요. 바텀에서 솔킬 내고.
네, 네.
there were a lot of
많이
super
잘려서,
plays.
네.
But I got caught out a lot, so
잘했대요.
I'm
잘했다고
not really satisfied.
초반 초중반 그 주도권 잡고 이제 바텀 거기서 이제 솔킬
Well, he had a lot of laning priorities in the mid and early games.
르블랑의 역할은
He had so much power. I think he did his role as a LeBlanc on mid lane.
갱플 랭크에서 약간 보연픽이 있으니까.
And also you got GP for the late game, so it was all okay.
그래요. 그 욕심이었대요. 그러니까 서로 좀 나눠 먹자.
Well, you guys share the carry.
플레이니까요.
맞습니다.
Yeah, I think we did a team play.
1세트 진짜 담원 게이밍 뭐 기대하시는 분들 상당히 많았을 텐데 오늘 그만한 또 경기력 보여주셔서 너무 다행인 것 같고 이제 담원 게이밍과
DAMWON Gaming and Better Comics.
이거
You
예상하시는
guys both
대진이에요.
got the victories today. Did you guys expect it?
솔직히
To be honest, I did not.
한
네.
팀은 그러면 LCK일 것이다.
아, 이게
기존 팀. 이번 승자전
승자전에서
네.
For the winners match,
그거를
yeah,
예상하지 못했는데.
we thought one of the LCK team will be there.
그러니까 이게 무섭더라고요 이게.
아.
But seeing their performance today, I think I'm a little
맞습니다.
bit
아무래도 시즌 중에
worried about
패를
them.
했던 1패가 그 배틀 코믹스였잖아요.
But
근데
the Comics
많은
was
분들이
the
좀
only one who
이길
took
것
down
같다는
DAMWON
의견을
Gaming at
좀
Challengers
점치고
Korea,
계시거든요.
but
이거에 대해서는 또
a lot of
어떻게
people say
저는
DAMWON Gaming is a little bit more, a little bit stronger.
긴장해야
I don't really
될것
think
같아요.
so. I think we
정말
shouldn't
잘해야
let our
이길 수
guards
있는
down.
팀인 것 같고 방심하면
I
안 될
think
것
Better
같아요.
Comics, they're really strong, so we have to get rid of our mistakes.
어떠세요?
저는 일단 배틀코믹스랑 승자전은
Well,
약간
the
자신
winners
있고요.
match against Battle Comics, I'm
Yeah,
pretty
자신
confident.
좋습니다. 자, 그렇다면 그 자신을 담아서 두 분에게 이제 각오로 마무리
And
한번
is there any last
지어보도록
message you would like to say?
노구리 선수부터.
남은 승자전 잘 준비해서
You're gonna
좋은,
prepare
더
a
좋은
lot for the
경기력으로
winners
보답하도록
match
하겠습니다.
and come back with better performance and
저도
results.
똑같이 같이 승자전
Same
열심히
me
잘
also.
준비해서
I'm gonna prepare a lot and work hard, and I'm gonna make sure to make it to
네,
LCK.
좋습니다. 자, 승자전에서 어느 팀이
I guess this sums up the first day of 2019 LCK Spring Split Promotion Series, and I'm gonna pass it back to our casters. Thank you.
Thank you, Ji-sun, for the wonderful translation. Nice to hear from the new guys on the block. We're going to have one of either DWG Gaming or Battle Comics going into the LCK. Definitely a refreshing kind of feeling, although a little bit sad we're going to be losing one of the big names from LCK.
Always fun to see these players new to the interview stage. Always a little bit more awkward, just not used to the stage here with the fans and, of course, the big interviews that come with it. But one of those teams is going to have to be very quickly ready for more of those interviews, Valdez, because like you say, we're guaranteed a new team. The last new team that came to the LCK turned out pretty damn good in Griffin.
Yeah, you know.
And we didn't know that from the promotion tournament. They did not sweep the promotion tournament. They actually lost the first game to MVP in the finals of the summer promotion tournament, I guess 3, 4, 5 months ago now. So you never know everything right now. I think DWG's approach to this series with all the scaling was kind of a little bit weird. You might say, well, they don't think BBQ can close games. You get away with scaling, blah, blah, blah. You can understand that logic, but it's one of those weird parts where you look at the performance and say, a lot of teams would have punished this performance. Do I now no longer believe in DWG Gaming, or was it a set-piece strategy? We don't have the data points to know. All we do know is 2-0 and the best of 5. Given that storyline of Battle Comics taking down DWG and Challenger, will be a fun one to see, because if that goes 5 games, there's much less difference between the two teams we originally thought.
Yeah, and I'll also say, just on a mechanical kind of skill level, they are actually really good, DWG Gaming. I think Nuguri is really impressive in the top side, at least on his GP. Hoyt is obvious, really, really good on engaged supports, we can already see. Nuclear and Showmaker. Showmaker, he takes a little bit of a more controlled style. I think he's going to be fantastic. Punch is the one question mark where it's like, oh, I could see him playing tank junglers and kind of just riding the bus a little bit, and that's fine as long as he does his job. He doesn't need to be the carry, and I could definitely envision them, if I had to make a call right now, probably mid-tier, maybe 6th place of LCK if they do make it up.
And you probably would have said the same thing about Griffin about 5 months ago and been very surprised with how good they can be. So we just want more contenders. It never feels good to have a Kongdu Monster from Spring, or unfortunately a BBQ from Summer, when it comes to just ending up with 2 match wins, no more, no less. Maybe there always has to be a team like that. It's hard to say. You could have a bit more competitive, but it feels like the LCK always has a no-hoper, and unfortunately, theoretically, it's going to have to be one of those teams next year. MVP, BBQ, Jinair, those are the ones that struggled this season. Right now, we know one of them at least will be gone.
Yeah, that's an interesting story. Definitely looking forward to Thursday to see which of these teams make it into LCK. But that's going to do it for today. Thanks for watching, guys. As always, we love you. See you next time.